Hey guys, thank you for clicking on this video. My name is Sabrina and I make pottery on this channel, and today I have this vase right here and we're going to be packing it up and shipping it out. So if that sounds like an exciting time, you can keep on watching. If you would like to see more pottery related content, you can also follow me on Instagram and on TikTok at Ceramic Sabrina, and as always you can subscribe below if you would like to be notified the next time that I post a video, which I promise will be very soon, so stay tuned for that. And I think that's all I have to say, so I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to get started. Some things you might want to grab before you get started would be a box, bubble wrap, tape, scissors, obviously the piece that you're shipping, and maybe some stiffer paper that can be used to fill in any empty space in the box. Also, I filmed myself packing the tiger vase that I showed in the beginning, and then I think I accidentally deleted the footage, so now we're going to pack this mug and we're not going to talk about it. For a mug, I really like to pay attention to the handle, so I'll usually start by just kind of wrapping up the handle by itself just to give it a little extra cushioning, and then I'll just start to kind of fold the piece in on itself. And then anytime I come around to that handle again, I might just gather a little more bubble wrap just to really bulk up that handle, because that is my main concern for anything breaking. Once your piece is nice and wrapped up, you're going to tape it closed just to really keep everything nice and tight, and then nothing will unravel in transit. So now that that is all secure and wrapped up, so now we're going to take our box here. As you can see, it is an Amazon box. I like to reuse my boxes as much as I can, so anytime I get something in the mail that is approximately pot sized, I will keep it. It's probably not the most professional look to reuse boxes from other companies, but I think if you're just starting out with selling pottery, it's fine. I mean, even where I'm at with it, no one has ever been upset that I used a box for something else. But further down the line, I will probably purchase boxes explicitly to be used for pottery, but I would say anything you have is fine. The main goal is you don't want it to be too small. We do want about 2 inches of packing materials surrounding our object, our mug or anything, so you want a box that's big enough to hold the item plus about 2 inches on any given side. So keep that in mind when you're selecting your box. So into our box, we're going to take our paper and just kind of make like a nest with it. And I do have a little extra bubble wrap, so I'm just going to include that in our nest. Anything you can use. You can use packing peanuts if you want. You could technically use like newspaper, but I mean, it's something that's a little bit thicker. I have no idea where I got this brown paper at, but you know, something thicker than newspaper would be ideal, because I've mentioned before that I used to be a mail carrier, and I've seen firsthand how people's packages get handled, and it's nothing personal. It's not that your mailman hates you or anything. It's just that they go through a lot before they end up at your house. There's conveyor belts. They're getting physically thrown around. When you're driving the truck, you never know if you're gonna have to stop a little quickly, and your packages could be shaken all over. So we really want to do our best to pack this well, because even if you write fragile on a package, that does not mean that the mailman is going to feel any type of way about that. So it is best to do everything you can to ensure the safety of your precious pottery. So then just take another piece of paper and kind of fill in the top of it. The goal is that when we close it, there's a little bit of resistance. You see how it doesn't, you know, just nicely close. We want it to be packed very full, because now there's no extra room for our mug to slide all over the box, so that should be good. This is something that I learned while working at a UPS store, so a lot of what I did there was actually package items for people that they brought in. So I did learn kind of the best ways to package things. This is pretty much how we did it there. So if it's good enough for the UPS store, I think it's good enough for me and my pottery. And so far, the only time I've ever had a piece damaged was when I was not packing it well enough. So since I've learned to keep 2 inches of packing materials surrounding my items, I've had pretty good luck since then. It's a good rule of thumb. Next comes my favorite part of the packaging process, which is adding a little personal touch. Recently, I got to work with a company called No Issue to create these custom thank you cards that I've been including with all of my pottery shipments. So I designed these on Procreate. It was super easy, and then I just uploaded the files to No Issue's website, and they pretty much took care of the rest for me. I've always liked to write like custom notes and letters to people that buy my pottery, and I wanted something a step up from just a piece of scrap paper. I wanted something that people might actually want to hold on to, maybe hang up on their walls or something, and then obviously something that kind of related back to my pottery. So this is how I came up with that, and I've been shipping these out with all of my pottery orders. I still have a couple left, so if you are interested in ordering something, feel free to message me over on Instagram, and you'll be getting a free little thank you card, art print kind of thing. No Issue specializes in eco-friendly and customizable packaging materials. They have thank you cards, they have tape, they have tissue paper, stickers, stamps, pretty much anything you could possibly ask for. Besides having absolutely everything you could need for your customized packaging experiences, No Issue also focuses on making eco-friendly, recycled, and sustainable packaging materials. It makes me feel good to know that this was made out of 100% recycled materials. They also plant 1 tree for every order that they receive, so you don't have to feel bad about ordering a bunch of tissue paper and cards and all of that fun stuff. Get out there and start planting those trees. I've sold a good amount of pots at this point in my life. I've shipped to a lot of different states, a couple different countries, and every single time it feels like the first time, and it just makes me so happy to have all these cute little pots out in the world, places I've never even been to. So I really like to just take a minute and thank the person, let them know that it's really nice of them to support my little business, and hopefully this person likes their card and maybe hangs it up on their fridge or something. But anyways, don't forget to check out No Issue's eco-friendly, recycled, sustainable, and super adorable packaging materials. You will not be disappointed, I can guarantee that. So then I just like to take my little note and just set it right on top so they see it when they open it up. And then we're gonna close her up. So push down on it a little bit. And then if I had a tape gun, this would be way easier, but you know, I'll make do. So I just try and keep everything tight, keep the box flaps close together. And then we'll get one nice piece of tape down the middle. And we'll do a piece on each side. Okay. Give it a little shake, make sure everything feels secure. And I think we're good to go. Now that our vase is all boxed up and ready to go, we are gonna have to find a way to ship it. So there are quite a few different options as far as carriers, and there are lots of pros and cons to all of those carriers. At least in my mind, there's the Postal Service, UPS, and FedEx, and most people seem to have a preference over one or the other. Like I mentioned in my last video, I used to work for the Postal Service, which was interesting. But when I was doing that, it was really convenient because I could just bring my mugs and other pottery to work and just drop it off there and scan it myself, and it was really convenient. And then I worked at a UPS store briefly, and when I worked there, I got a discount on shipping, so I just used UPS. And then I've never used FedEx, but I imagine you could. From what I've heard, FedEx seems to be the most expensive option. UPS is kind of like a mid-range, and then the Postal Service is generally the cheapest. at least from what I've seen. The post office also generally takes the longest. UPS seems to be a little bit faster, and maybe FedEx is faster than that, I don't know. But especially working at a UPS store, a lot of people would come in and complain about the postal service, and it always kind of bummed me out because I was like, you know, they're trying their best. But, you know, the only time I've ever had pottery damaged in transit was through the postal service, but I don't think that necessarily means that they're, you know, horrible and abusing boxes and stuff. I think it's just because I use the postal service more than anyone else, so it makes sense that the one bad experience I had was through them. But on the bright side, you are able to insure your pottery when you ship it. I would definitely recommend insuring it, especially if you are selling it. Obviously, you want to make sure that if anything bad happens, you get something out of it. At least for me, in the one situation where pottery was broken in the mail, I just remade it and I was able to file a claim with the postal service, and they compensated me for it. So it was cool because I got paid to make 2 of them because I made 2 of them. But if I hadn't insured it, then I wouldn't have been able to do that. So definitely make sure that you get insurance on your pottery. Even if you're sending it to, you know, friends, and maybe you're not selling it, you're just shipping it for, you know, whatever reason you might want to ship your pottery. It's not a bad idea to get insurance on it because things do happen. Even if your packages end up getting lost, it's a good idea to, you know, have that as a backup. So as far as generating a label for these shipments, you can always go online and do that. I think if you're, you know, shipping large quantities of packages, it's probably a good idea to go onto the website of the carrier that you're interested in using, and you can put in the weight and the dimensions and the address and all that, and you can print out your own labels. If you don't have a printer, you can always go to the post office or, you know, a UPS store or a FedEx place or whatever. If you're only shipping 1 or 2 things every so often, I personally don't really mind waiting in line at the post office, so that's always an option. Otherwise, if you do print out your own labels, I believe most carriers offer free pickups. At least the post office does, UPS does as well. So you can just go online and set that up if you want to do that. I mean, you could definitely make your decision on the carrier based on the speed. Like I said, UPS and FedEx are generally faster than the post office because they only deal with packages. Post office is usually cheaper. I usually just factor in the shipping cost into the cost of the pot when I sell my pieces. Just because I've shipped enough things at this point that I can generally guess with pretty decent accuracy how much something is going to cost to ship, unless it is an international shipment, of course, which I have done a couple of those. It's a little bit more of a hassle, it's a little bit more anxiety-inducing, but I know that the Postal Service and UPS both offer international shipments, so FedEx probably does, I don't know, but you can probably check that out. I usually like to go through the Postal Service just because I like to support them, and I also like to not spend that much on shipping because sometimes it can get expensive. I usually just go through the Postal Service because I like to support them even though we've parted ways, but I also like to spend not that much money on shipping. That's a plus as well. So, you know, some combination of those variables might contribute to which carrier you decide to go through. But once you give it to the carrier, it's kind of out of your hands at that point. You know, you get your tracking number, you keep an eye on it, you pray that it's not going to break in the mail. And yeah, I've never had anything get lost in the mail, but like I was saying about insurance, if you ever did, it's not too much of a hassle to file a claim. It just takes a while. So yeah. As long as you make sure that you're packaging your pottery correctly, you should be fine as far as damage goes. When I worked at the post office, I saw how packages got thrown around. Even with a fragile sticker on it, you never really know who's going to be handling your packages. So you really want to make sure that you are doing your best to secure your pieces because they're going to be thrown around, they're going to be on conveyor belts. You never know if another box is going to be put on top of it, which is why it's important to make sure you choose a good box and make sure that you are putting 2 inches of packaging around your pot, at least 2 inches. You can always do more. And then, you know, choosing a carrier that you feel you can trust with your hard work, and yeah, that's how your pottery can travel. I wouldn't be able to do that without packing and shipping my pottery. I hope if you ship any pottery anytime soon that it gets to its destination safely and quickly, and yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.